So from leaders, from community, from the neighborhood, and to our parents, we all have a hand to play in these kind of roles. So we cannot just sit and be pointing fingers. We need to be responsible. We cannot just impregnate a woman and just leave them like that and expect to have great people in our countries. If a father does not take care of the children that they bring into this world. Now we say that there is no job. We hear on the news and we watch on the TV stations and even in our social media platforms, people complain that there is no job. Imagine having a child. You did not take care of the child. The child did not go to school. So if government should bring a job, what will that kind of person do? With no sort of education, no sort of information, no proper upbringing, what will happen? So as a father, we need to take care. We need to take charge of our children. Just do the possible best that we can to bring these children up in the best way that we can. As a mom, we need to also take responsibility. Responsibility is a choice that we need to live by if we want our country to grow. Taking responsibility. We live in a place, in a continent or in a country where people, especially people, say that, oh, this is government work. It is not. Why do you take this is government work? Why do you take it as your own? That is ridiculous. That is not taking responsibility. People do their work anyhow because it is government work. When we do that, there is no way there will be productivity in our country. People will always rush out of the country and move to other countries to find jobs. One time I was reading in the news that Amazon were cutting off jobs because they are now bringing robots to do those kind of work. Now, imagine that if we live in a country that everyone is traveling out, there will be a time that you will travel out and you will not get job to do because the menial jobs that you think you will be going to do there, robots are doing them. We need to be responsible. Don't just say that it is not in my house, so I don't care. When we see wrong, we should report that. We should speak up. When there is a gutter in the community that is causing sickness, breeding mosquitoes, and all sorts of things, we need to be responsible. The government is not going to come down to our various communities to come and clean the gutters for us. We are supposed to do that. We need to be responsible, take charge of our own communities, take charge of our lives. Yes, some of us may not have been brought up the best way we wanted. As Dr. John Maxwell always say, we are responsible to what happens within us. We are not responsible for what happens around us, but we are responsible for the things that happens within us. What we choose to do is what we are responsible. No, sometimes by circumstances or by the system, it fights against us, but we are responsible of our actions. The action we are responsible. The actions that we take, we are responsible to them. No, most of the time we say that, oh, God will do it. Oh, let's leave it to God. My fellow believers, God has already done it. When he went to the cross, he said, it is finished. Bible says when he finished on the last day, he rested. God has done everything. Apostle John Suleiman always say that God can do everything, but he will not do that which man can do. What we can do, God is not going to do it for us. So it is upon us. It is up to us to take responsibility and do things that will help us and do things that will benefit us. Because if we do not, and we always share a responsibility, there will be a time that we will find ourselves going back into slavery again. I read in the news from the BBC that America wants to sign a deal with Zambia, and it involves their minerals. So America wants to be the first choice when it comes to when they want to sign mineral deals with other countries. They should first of all look at American companies should take preference before other countries. Now, do you know the sad thing? In the news, it says that if Zambia do not agree to that, it means America is going to withdraw the help that they give in helping the drugs that is sent to the HIV patients in Zambia. Imagine that the whole country can be held to ransom. That if you do not sign this deal, we are not going to fund the drugs that you use to take HIV patients in the country. And from the news, they had about 1.3 million people. I've forgotten the exact word, the exact number, but millions of people are going to suffer because if Zambia do not agree to that deal, America is going to withhold that funding. So if we do not take responsibility for our countries and do the right thing and say, I'll run away, I'll go to another country, I will do that, there will be a time that AIDS, it has been happening. It happens that when they give aid, they give you instructions. But this one is very critical. We are not going to give you drugs if you don't sign this deal. That is very serious. And that is the point where some African countries we have gotten to. So we must be responsible to our countries. The little things. If you are a teacher, don't just teach math. Don't just teach subject and go. We must teach values, taking responsibility, being patriotic. When you go to the workplace as a civil servant, don't say that it's government work and so you will do it. You will do it any way you like. We are having shortage of jobs in our countries because those in the civil servants did not take charge to do the right thing, so that there will be profit for government to use to open other jobs. We are all responsible for that, for what is happening in our countries. So my brothers and sisters, I just want to say that